With my recent luck retro-reviewing these older horror movies, I've decided to switch things up a bit. Most of the footage will either be slowed down or shown only in brief clips. The TV shows I cover seem to be fine, but using that same format for movies has been causing some issues. As always, this is a retrospective review, not a replacement for watching the film in its entirety. That said, I've placed affiliate links in the description below. Also, there are many, and I mean many, big-name actors in this movie. I won't be introducing every single one. I'm only covering the two main leads. I know that might be annoying, but tough titties. We're here for the horror, not to call out the cameo from the Fresh Prince of No Hair.
She's not even bald in this.
Our story starts off on a desolate New Mexico highway at night. A vintage Plymouth barrels down the road. Behind the wheel is Frank Brayker, played by Tales from the Crypt veteran William Sadler. Suddenly, a tailing Trans Am appears in his rearview mirror, piloted by a suave stranger in a cowboy hat. The Collector, played by Billy Zane. A pulse-pounding chase ensues. Brayker stops and brandishes a lever-action rifle, taking multiple shots at the speeding Trans Am. Damaged and in flames, the Collector aims to ram into Brayker at full speed. In a fiery wreck, both vehicles explode, but Brayker rolls clear, blood oozing from his palm imprint as the Collector calmly steps away from the blaze.
Demon Knight wasn't originally meant to be the first Tales from the Crypt movie at all. It was actually pitched as part of a trilogy. The other two were called Dead Easy and Fat Tuesday, but those got scrapped because this one had the most Tales from the Crypt flavor to it. What's even crazier is that the script actually predates the Tales from the Crypt show entirely. It floated around Hollywood in the mid-'80s, almost got made by Tom Holland, the director of the original Child's Play movie. He also made Fright Night, but it wasn't meant to be, meaning it bounced from studio to studio until Joel Silver's team grabbed it and gave it that iconic EC Comics edge. Many fans, myself included, say this movie feels like one long episode of the show, so it turned out to be a great fit.
Still bleeding, Brayker stumbles into the desolate town of Wormwood. He breaks into a gas station to steal water and runs afoul of a local drunk, Uncle Willie, who offers him shelter. Two cops come upon the scene of the crash. The Collector walks out unscathed, acting as a fellow member of authority. He claims the man he was chasing is very dangerous. The small-town cops follow along with him, like sheep. We hard cut back to Brayker. Another star glows and collects on the palm of his hand. Willie leads him to an abandoned church that's been converted into a ramshackle boarding house, run by the austere Irene. Inside, Brayker meets the eclectic residents: Cordelia, a sharp-tongued sex worker; Wally, a jittery postal clerk; Geraldine, an itinerant convict on work release; and Roach, the hot-headed cook. The atmosphere hums with suspicion, while the impromptu sanctuary settles in. As a tense standoff unfolds, the Collector waltzes in, coiled and charming. He convinces the sheriff that Brayker is a dangerous fugitive, and like puppets on a string, the officers arrest Brayker. Things seem to be going to the Collector's plan, until a cop finds out that both cars involved in the wreck were reported stolen. The Collector is held at gunpoint by one of the officers and is being led outside. Moments later, the Collector reveals his true nature. He punches through Sheriff Tupper's skull, instantly killing him. The Collector comes face to face with Brayker. In a quick act of self-defense, Brayker uses the holy artifact to burn the demonic Collector's face. He screams in pain and jumps out a window to escape the artifact's pain, then slices his own palm, bleeding neon green ichor onto the dusty road. The ground trembles as a cadre of grotesque demons, clawed, hulking, with glowing eyes, rises from the earth.
The demons were designed by Todd Masters' FX team. These were legit full-body creature suits worn by stunt performers. The glowing eyes, not digital. They used internal lights behind translucent latex, so the eyes literally glowed from within. The actors in the film that turned demonic reportedly took around 4 hours each to fully apply the makeup. There was even a refrigerated trailer on set to ensure the actors remained comfortable throughout the shoot. Ernest Dickerson really pushed to keep things practical. He was inspired by Evil Dead, and you can feel it in the way the demons act. They're chaotic, violent, and weirdly expressive, especially in their movements. And we of course have to talk about Billy Zane. A lot of his lines and actions were improvised, like the whole cowboy look and the whole dancing bit after jumping out of the church. The character of the Collector was intentionally left as a blank slate. He was bland in the script. Zane was basically told to just go nuts and make the character his own. And he did. He's having the time of his life, and it shows. He was so good at the role that actors would constantly break character and start busting out laughing at something Zane said or did. William Sadler and Jada Pinkett Smith may have been the heroes of the story, but Billy Zane's character not only makes the movie, he steals the show.
Brayker grabs the key and quickly seals the doors and windows with its glowing, blood-red power. Each seal glows as the demonic horde pounds and shrieks outside. Inside the church, the survivors scramble. Candles flicker. The Collector prowls outside, whispering seductively, his eyes hidden beneath shadow. Tension spikes between Cordelia and Roach as they eye each other warily. With each tremor, Brayker presses fresh blood from the key into the seals, reinforcing the warding. He explains its origins. Centuries ago, 7 cosmic keys were corrupted by demons. God countered by scattering them and sealing the last one with the blood of Christ, placed in the hands of a thief named Sirach. Guardians like Brayker have held it through the ages, each immortal while the key is sealed, resurrecting the blood with their own life force. As dusk deepens, the Collector strikes again, this time mentally. He whispers to Cordelia, preying on her darkest desires. The whispers corrupt her quickly. She lures Wally into her room, the others kick in the door, only to find she has turned into a demonic monster, and she's feeding on Wally. She lunges and mounts Brayker. Irene tries to intervene, but the demon effortlessly rips off her arm. Brayker reaches for Irene's drop shotgun and puts a swift end to the demonically infected Cordelia.
Let's talk about William Sadler. If you're a hardcore Crypt fan, you probably recognize him. He played the man who was Death in the very first episode of the HBO show, and our very first segment ever covered on this channel. That episode launched the entire series we all know and love. The weird part is, Sadler nearly wasn't cast in the original role at all, but after outperforming in his audition, he became not only a fan favorite, but a crew favorite as well. Sadler, in fact, has the most cameos on Tales from the Crypt over any other actor. Even in this movie, Sadler wasn't the first pick for Brayker. The main character was almost played by Willem Dafoe, but Sadler brought this grounded, exhausted, soldier of God energy that works way better for this movie. And already being a Tales alum and being a favorite of the showrunners, he more than earned the lead role. When it comes to Geraldine, played by Jada Pinkett, she was a late casting change. The role was originally written to be a typical final girl, but Dickerson wanted to challenge expectations and bring something new. He saw strength and grit in Jada during her audition. He wanted less of a Laurie Strode and more of an Ellen Ripley. I may make jokes, but Jada played this role perfectly, playing an against-the-grain character originally at odds with the hero, only to see the situation for what it truly is and become the intuitive, quick-thinking, last-standing hero the movie needed to have that touch of something truly special.
The group, shaken, debates escape. Brayker warns them. The tunnels beneath the church lead nowhere. The building is the only sanctuary. Yet hope sparks when Geraldine mentions the old mine shaft below. Danny, a frightened young boy, emerges from the shadows, lost and terrified. Brayker leads the group down into dank darkness, their footsteps echoing as distant growls vibrate through the floorboards above. Demonic shrieks follow, then, from behind, 2 crawling hell beasts leap at them. They barely escape back into the old church. Back upstairs, the group regathers. Brayker relays more lore. The Guardian is chosen by fate. Their blood, when mixed with the blood of Christ inside the holy relic, transforms it into a powerful weapon of defense. Brayker has served as the artifact's guardian since World War I, taking up the mantle from his dying commander. The Collector, furious, intensifies his assault, banging, whispering, promising power. Roach, crafty and cowardly, tries to cut a deal. In the attic, Irene and Deputy Bob discover a trunk full of weapons. Sheriff Bob finds a grenade vest. The Collector strikes subtly, possessing Willie. He attacks, screaming in demonic fury. Roach barges in, sees what's happening, and foolishly offers the key, only to be betrayed. The Collector allows him to pass, only for him to make it to the first floor, where he's swarmed and turned into a human buffet by a ravenous horde of hungry demons. The Collector used to be an adventurer like you, until he took an arrow to the face with a well-placed dome shot. Brayker retrieves the relic as the demons begin to flood in through the broken barrier. Irene and Bob, like two old-school heroes, make a last stand to allow the others to escape. Bob runs out of ammo and Irene and Bob hug it out, but they face their impending enemies, and Irene detonates the bomb vest. The explosion shakes the house. Flames roar through corridors. Half the demons are obliterated, but both Irene and Bob perish, heroes to the end. The church stands scarred, dawn creeping in. Exhausted and bloodied, the remaining survivors, Brayker, Geraldine, and Danny, prepare for the final blow. But the collector returns, ablaze with fury. He gives the boy a demonic comic book, flipping the pages like a puppeteer. Danny transforms, eyes glowing green, bones contorting. He hurls himself at Brayker, slashing. Brayker absorbs the attack, collapsing from blood loss. Geraldine dropkicks the demonic Danny full force into a window protected by the relic. The result transforms Danny into a piñata of sparks, blood, and gore. As Brayker lies dying, he presses the key into Geraldine's palm. The star burns, a searing brand. Visions flood her mind, biblical crypts, past guardians, the weight of cosmic responsibility. The door wards flicker. The seals vanish. The building is now exposed. The collector grins. He faces Geraldine, believing he has won. She spits the crimson key blood into his face. The collector howls. His flesh ignites from within. His body erupts in flame, exploding in a fiery inferno that rattles every beam. The demons vanish. Silence settles. In the early dawn, Geraldine, now the new guardian, kneels beside Brayker. She collects his blood from his fallen body, refilling the key. Covered in soot, clutching the glowing artifact, she boards a morning bus. She uses the blood of the relic to put up a holy shield at the bus door. As the bus pulls away, a traveler approaches, dressed in black, dusty, with pull-on cowboy boots. The next collector. The doors refuse him entry. He shrugs, whistles the Tales from the Crypt theme, and walks down the road following the bus.
And that was Demon Knight, though it ends with a clear setup. Geraldine is the new guardian, she's got the relic, and there's another collector already following her. It felt like a solid launch point for a continuing story. You'd expect the next film to pick up from that point, right? Instead, we got Bordello of Blood, a movie about vampires running a brothel with Dennis Miller as the wisecracking lead. And I'm not exaggerating here, it has almost nothing to do with Demon Knight. The relic shows up, but that's it. No Geraldine, no continuation of the lore, no Heaven vs. Hell War, just Dennis Miller being a sarcastic dickwad. Bordello basically let fans down from the jump. There is a third movie titled Ritual that many people have never even heard of, mainly because of how bad Bordello of Blood was received. Of course, I plan to cover both Ritual and Bordello of Blood, even if Dennis Miller annoys the crap out of me. Before we go, I want to say a special thank you to all the channel members. We got Jay Bregman, who's the newest member at 9 days, Lee, who's been a member for 29 days, and Trovoy Mercer, Ginger S., U.S. Army vet, 91, and Slayer Lee, all at 1 month. And still leading the pack is Skeptical Zach, his longest standing member at 2 months. It really means the world to me to see everyone watching and commenting. It's something I worked 5 years for, and to see people enjoying the content is a dream come true. So again, thank you. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.